Good evening, team. I wish to bring a summary of what we have learned previously, as even we plan to do the assessment at the end of the training tomorrow. So we are going to start with a summary of what we learned in Module 1. Under Module 1, we saw that food safety management system is a collaborative and systematic approach to effective management of the food safety hazards. We saw that the food safety systems, that is certification, the FSSC 22000 is one of the known requirements on food safety management system, other than the ISO 22000, 2005 or 2018, which we are currently undertaking. It is also recognized by the Global Food Safety Initiative, GFSI. ISO 22000, 2005 is the only previous edition of ISO 22000, 2018. That means under food safety management system, the first edition was ISO 22000, 2005, which was the 2005 is the year in which the version was released. Then the current edition, the second revision, is the 2000 ISO 22000 2018. FSC, that is Food Safety Systems Certification, is an acronym of Food Safety Management System. Food Safety Systems Certification is an acronym, or FSSC is an acronym for Food Safety System Certification. Condensed alimentarians are transitively known for food code, and it is globally recognized series of the standard and recommendations are sourced from many nations or from many national laws. The ISO 22000, 2018 focuses on the interface of food organization with its business environment. That means, remember, we've seen that in ISO 22000, 2018, there's been inclusion of the external parties. That means when the business is implementing the food safety management system, the external parties are also included in terms of awareness, in terms of communication, in terms of their needs and how the activities could impact on the food safety management system. Whereas in ISO 22000, 2005 was concentrating on managing food safety hazards at the internal level and other internal issues on operational level. That means you'd just involve the internal parties, that is the workers, maybe the top management, the board and all that. But the external parties were rarely involved in the ISO 22000, 2005. So that's the difference. The committee responsible for the revision of ISO 22000, 2005 to ISO 22000, 2018 is known as ISO/TC/SC 17. We learned that in food safety management system, the planned part at management system level is the analysis of organization's context. Remember, we said the context of organization, you must understand what the organization is all about. It also includes the role of leadership in the form of food safety management policy, food safety management systems policy. That means the leadership must have a food safety policy, which you remember we did, and we have our own food safety management system. Owning accountability of the system and providing necessary resources needed for the smooth progress. That means the leadership of an organization must own the process. They must be accountable and they must provide the needed resources for the smooth progression That is the smooth implementation and sustaining and continued improvement of the food safety management system. We saw that all operations activities are part of do. So whether you are starting from the implementation from the green leaf to the dispatch, all the operation activities, both the main activities and the support system, the support activities, these are operational activities which fall under the do, under the PDC cycle. You remember there's the plan do. So the operation activities are under the do phase of the management systems. We saw that verification must be done on activities to confirm that whatever you have decided is what you are doing to implement the food safety management system is actually taking place. So the operation activities for the OPRPs, for the ASA plan and the prerequisite programs must be verified. These are under the plan. There must be planned verification. That means the organization or the leadership or the SAP team must set a plan that this is the time that we are doing our verification, and this is how we are going to conduct it, and this is why we are going to conduct it, and who is going to conduct it. We saw that the do part of the operations include implementation of all plans, that is the OPRP, the ASA plan, the PRPs, and etc. Whatever else you put in place to control any risks in the organization must be, it is all included in the do part. Verification activities for all implemented plans and the analysis on results of verification activities are included in the check part. So we say that the verification is under the C, the PDC cycle, the PDCA cycle. So the verification activities are under the check. Some of the outputs of check part can mandate changes in OPRPs and ASAP plan so as to have the correct verification result. So if in case the check happens, that is the verification happens, you might need to change some steps. You might need to change your OPRPs or your HACCP plan or include more of the PRPs. We saw that according to the World Health Organization, WHO, in 2017, they discovered 600 million, that is about 1 in 10 persons in the world fell ill after consuming hazardous and contaminated food. That is only in 2017. So hence the mandate to have the ISO review, the ISO 22000-2005 review, which mandated the review of the standard to 2018. It was reviewed. We looked at some definitions in the ISO management system, the food safety management system. We earned some definitions. Under these definitions, we defined what is a prerequisite program. We saw that a prerequisite program is defined as basic conditions and activities that are necessary within the food organization and throughout the food chain to maintain the food safety, to ensure food safety. Any activity or condition that you put throughout the food chain, whether it is washing your hands, whether it's dipping your feet in the foot bath, it's an activity that is done to ensure or maintain food safety. This is a PRP. We defined validation. We saw validation. Validation is defined as obtained evidence that a control measure or a combination of control measures will be capable of effectively controlling the significance of food safety. So you obtain evidence, taking your T for analysis. You are trying to obtain evidence that whatever it is that you have put in place is actually capable of effectively controlling the significant food safety hazard. We also defined critical limits. We saw critical limits. Critical limit is a measurable value which separates acceptability from unacceptability. Critical limit, a drier temperature of 140 to 145, that is a critical limit. So it separates unacceptability from acceptability. We defined operational prerequisite programs or PRPs as control measures or a combination of control measures applied to prevent or reduce a significant food safety hazard to an acceptable level, and where actions or criterion and measurable and measurement or observation enable effective control of the process or product. We also defined critical control point. The critical control point, we defined it, is a step in the process at which control measures are applied to prevent or reduce a significant food safety hazard to an acceptable level, and defined critical limits and measurements enable the application of corrective actions. So critical control point is the step in the process at which control measures are applied to prevent or reduce a significant food safety hazard to an acceptable level, and defined critical limits and measurements enable the application of corrections. So that means if your critical limits are exceeded or they go beyond, then you are able to apply corrective action. Maybe you take the tea back to the dryer. So that's it for definitions. We saw that ISO 22000-2018 mandates the role of food safety team leader, who is assigned specific assignments by the standard. It is clear in the standard the role of the food safety team leader. In clause 7.1 to 7.5, we saw various support functions which include availability of sufficient resources, competency among workers. That means whoever is working or has an impact to the food or to the safety of the food has to have certain competencies that must be determined by the leadership of the organization. Competence among the workers to ensure food safety, necessary awareness where they don't meet competence, then this competence can be enhanced through trainings. So we are saying that competence among the workers to ensure food safety, necessary awareness of workers and suppliers. So we don't leave out suppliers and anyone else who has whose activity has an impact on food safety. That means your supplier of paper sacks, your supplier of cleaning detergents must also have the necessary competence. Sufficient communication for food safety and requirements for documented information. That means the food safety policy must be communicated. Remember, we said must be communicated throughout the food chain to the suppliers, to the consumers, to the workers, to everyone within the organization. In clause 8.1 to 8.9, it is the operational planning and control, prerequisite programs, PRPs, and all that. That is all the operation planning. That is the operation planning falls under clause 8, which begins from 8.1 to 8.9. It also talks about traceability of the system, the product, the system, hazard control verification related to hazard control plan, PRPs, control of product and process conformities, control of measurements and monitoring, and emergency preparedness. Under clause 9, performance evaluation is brought forth in order to have the same structure as the ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 and other international standards, hence the inclusion of clause 9. As of clause 10, The food organization has to deal with the incident or correct the problem, investigate the root cause, and take actions. So under clause 10, this is where we see corrective actions, corrective measures being taken, the corrections being taken on the process and on the product. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best in the assessment that we are going to undertake. But before that, I'll take you through also the summary of Module 2 and Module 3. Thank you.